For the penultimate day of racing in Morocco, an entirely new stage for the teams today. Fast, gravelly and very beautiful, it should be great fun for the drivers and riders. Less taxing in navigation than the previous 3 stages, there's still a sting in the tail towards the end with a complicated and technical wadi crossing in and out of trees and big ruts. In all, 385 kilometres of new terrain from Oued to Sidi Laroussi. Let's start with the SSVs and a veteran who is defying all age barriers. Yoshimasa Sugawara is a living legend. He's done 36 Dakars, 27 in a truck, 7 in a car and twice on a bike. He's even in the Guinness Book of Records. At 78, the Japanese driver is here for the first time competing in an SSV. His main aim is to get to Lac Rose. He finished today quite late on. Kamil Rahal from Senegal takes 3rd place in the category today. It pushes him 3 places higher in the GC and he finishes tonight 9th overall. Another first podium place today, this time for Patrice Etienne and Jean-Pierre Saint-Martin at the wheel of their Can-Am. They drove well over the rough terrain, which takes its tolls on the tyres. They came in 2nd behind the EDO team. Benoit Fretin has proved himself the fastest again. 3rd stage victory in 4 days for the man from Brittany. Not bad for someone who just wanted to have fun. His competitive spirit has taken over and he knows there's a good battle for the top spot. It's true, we have to stay on our game because I suspect no one will let up. It's going to be tough. The results in the SSV category are as follows. Victory for Benoit Fretin ahead of Patrice Etienne and Kamil Rahal. 5th for Geoffroy Noël de Burlin and Alexandre de Ban was 10th. That result has lost de Ban his top spot in the GC. He's now 3rd behind Fribourg and Fretin. Geoffroy Noël de Burlin is 4th. Defying all stereotypes could be the theme of this year's rally. Age, disability, gender. Noel Essers turned 77 on New Year's Eve just before heading to Monaco. Today, the Belgian driver at the wheel of his man was 12th overall and 6th truck. In the T2 category, we all remember Alexei Titov. Last year, he proposed to his girlfriend on the start line in Monaco. They were married in June. Marriage seems to have given Titov wings. He was 10th overall and 1st in his category today. The trucks are right at the coalface in the AfricaEcoRace this year. We could even see one on the top step of the podium. Previously unthinkable. Amongst the leaders is Miklos Kovac. 3rd today, the hugely experienced rally raid driver knows that the game is not won yet. It looks like it's all wrapped up here in Morocco, but I know that the most important is Mauritania and who is best in the dunes. Kovac less than 2 minutes behind Yves Romand tonight. The Frenchman, co-piloted by his son Jean, came home 2nd today. Everything went well and Yves was tired but smiling at the finish line. We had a slow puncture towards the end, about 30 kilometres from here. We couldn't get the wheel off for technical reasons, so it took us a bit longer than it should have. And as we had had a pretty good stage until then, we are pleased even though we're not happy about the puncture. Every day, Igor Bowens gets better and better, putting himself in the running for a podium place in Dakar. Today, he also made an impression. He finished the 385-kilometre stage in 4 hours, 28 minutes. He didn't get stuck today, and the Belgian brought home his 2nd stage victory. It was a beautiful stage. There was lots of navigation. It wasn't easy, but we handled it really well. We had a perfect day. A quick look at the classification and a second stage victory for Igor Bowens with 15 minutes 54 ahead of Fromont. Fourth place goes to Patrick Martin and his son Lucas. First SSV Fretin was sixth. In the GC, Fromont advances his lead over Kovac, but it's still very close. 4 trucks in the top 6 and the first SSV, that of Fretin, is 7th. Marc Joanneau retired from racing 15 years ago, but is back in the saddle for the 12th edition of the AfricaEcoRace. He hasn't ridden for 15 years, but he really wanted to get back to Dakar, so he hatched a crazy plan to get there. Not content with just doing the race, he decided to get right back into the spirit of Thierry Sabine and compete in the Motul Extreme Rider category, an added challenge for a man who fell quite heavily at the beginning of the rally. It's been 40 years since I was at the start line in the Trocadero. I was 22. To celebrate, I wanted to do it again this year and get to Dakar. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be in the running, given all the waypoints I missed yesterday. I don't think I'll be back in the race for another 2 to 3 days. So now the plan is to follow the rally a bit, help out the others, have some fun, and get to the beach in Dakar some other way. There's always that. Marc has many memories of the Dakar, like this one from 1982. I won the first stage. I was placed quite high. And after that we had a lot of punctures. Back then we didn't have foam, so we punctured often. I was really far back, and then in the Gao Gao loop I did really well and I won the stage and I made it to the top 4. With 3 to 4 days to go to the finish, I was half an hour up on Silo-Neveu, and unfortunately at the refueling point they put kerosene in my bike.
Malheureusement, je suis arrivé au camion ravitaillement et on m'a mis du kérosène dans la moto. Donc voilà.
Obviously the engine broke. I arrived back
temps,
well outside the time because I had managed to find an engine on the way back. I got 15 hours of penalty because Thierry Sabine didn't want to hear it. I told him it was his fuel truck that made the mistake, but he was just like that. He didn't want to know. I was absolutely furious. So that was the end of that.
Donc oui, j'étais un petit peu furax, hein. Voilà quoi. Donc du coup, ça s'est pas fait.
To get back to his youth, the AfricaEcoRace seemed the obvious answer. It's the race that is closest to my dream to get back to Dakar. I didn't really see myself 40 years after my first Dakar heading to Saudi Arabia. It didn't make any sense. This is the first time I've set off on my own. I did all my Dakars with my brother. My brother is no longer with us. I'm on my own a bit. I miss him. A nightmare of a day for Felix Jensen. He fell in Morocco in this race 2 years ago, and today he fell again, 3 kilometres from the finish. He managed to cross the finish line groaning in pain with a damaged shoulder.
I was coming after Paul and Lyndon, and then the dust was too much and I was hitting a big bump. I was high side the bike. So it's just flying, you know. I take my both shoulders. I can do this, but another arm is kaput.
Jensen's disappointment was in stark contrast to the Polish rider Paweł Staszczyk. Sometimes happiness is as simple as crossing a finish line on the Monaco Dakar. An 8th place today for Staszczyk. Distress, joy and a comeback of the day, however, for Matt Sutherland of Australia, riding a rally bike for the first time. He had a GPS problem yesterday, so a late finish meant he started 43rd today. He thundered past loads of bikes to come in 7th. Amongst the leaders, we find Alessandro Butturi in 6th place. Last year's winner was less than happy at the finish line. He lost time today with a loose navigation tower. I had a problem with my bike because everything was moving. I had to ride the last bit quite carefully. I think Paul took back a bit of time today. I think I was lucky just to make it to the end of the stage. Time lost, but he stays on the top of the leaderboard ahead of Olav Alsæter. The Norwegian got lost twice. He ate a lot of dust and lost 10 minutes, but at the same time as Butturi. There followed a battle then with Butturi and Poskett, and he finished second in 5:09.50. The performance of the day, however, goes to Lyndon Poskett. He started 6th, and when he found Olav Alsæter and Butturi at the refuelling point, he decided to push and let battle commence. On arrival at the end of the stage, he was delighted to be giving the winners' interview.
And then I got lost and lost about 10 minutes searching for a waypoint, and I thought I'd thrown it all away. And then I found them all lost, and I managed to find the way, and I was first, and then I got it to the end, just keep it nice and steady. But yeah, it was really rough in the rocks, and that's where I made most of my time. And navigation, good navigation, even though I got lost once. Yeah.
Results are as follows. A first stage victory for Lyndon Poskett ahead of the youngster Konrad Dabrowski and Paolo Lucci. Olav Alsæter is 4th, Butturi 6th. In the GC, Butturi leads, but only by 9 seconds from Olav Alsæter and 21 minutes from Poskett. The first Frenchman, Norbert Dubois, is 20th. That's us for today. Our last day in Morocco tomorrow with a big push south to Ouassasag after 473 kilometres of racing. See you then. Bye-bye.